Hey guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, good day my dear friends. Welcome to another episode of the weekday live show live here on Facebook. And if you're watching this on another platform like YouTube or LinkedIn, so good you're here. Thank you so much for being here and joining us here in this conversation. And today we're gonna talk about personal health, right? What we do here. My name is Maurice, by the way. And I am a personal leadership coach, so I help people to find and create their true essence, their life goals, their happiness, their pursuing the things that really matter to you. And we have a couple of foundations there, right? There are a couple of things that's just general combination of happiness, and one of those things is of course our health. And today is the day where that is, it's actually almost like D-Day, where we're fighting this pandemic, we're fighting the COVID, and we need to build on our immune system. And it's funny because today I'm living in the Netherlands, and we're having this intelligent lockdown at the moment. And today there was a press conference from our government, and it was actually the first time, and I'm so glad they actually did that, the first time they said, build on your health. Go out for a walk, make a walk like a stroll, right? Go hiking, do exercising, take care of your own health. Now, hearing that, I was like, okay, that's great. I mean, we know we all have to build on our health, right? I mean, more than 50% of the world is overweight, so that's a bad thing for your health. All bad things come from that, diseases and things like that. But So it's not easy just to say, okay, let's focus on our health and create a better health, right? How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you create a better health, a better immune system? Now, our immune system is like an army, right? You can see it like as an army, and it is there to protect your system, your body. So whenever there's something that's foreign, that's not supposed to be there, it fights it. Right? So it creates an inflammation, and the inflammation signals things, so the immune system, right, can fight it and can solve that. I mean, if you get a little cut in your arm or your hand or whatever, right, your immune system focuses on that area and fixing is gonna fix that. If you're overweight, you have an abundance of fat in your body, which creates inflammation, so your immune system is fighting that. Now, if you have an army of 100,000 men and you need 50,000 men at one area to fight all these inflammations, there's just this little piece of army left that needs to do all the other shit, right? So if it only needs 10,000 men, you got 90,000 men there. So that's what we want to create, right? We want to relieve the stress on our body, the stress on our immune system. Now, what are common things that will affect your health? That's overweight, right? If you're not healthy on your weight, that's creating a lot of tension on your system, on your immune system. Not enough sleep, a lot of stress. Those are all indications of bad health, right? If you wake up tired, you don't get enough sleep. If you feel anxious all the time, if you feel stressed all the time, you have this feeling of like the world is on your shoulders and you're constantly worrying about your life and this society of today. I mean, we've got crazy things going on in the world, right? So there's a lot of things we can worry about. And if that's happening, your body is under attack as well, right? And then there's this virus. So what happens when you're on an attack and your virus gets into your system? There is not enough soldiers, so to say, to fight that virus, right? And it doesn't matter if it's the coronavirus or any other virus that's coming on, or a bacterial disease or whatever it is, it's going to harm you because your immune system isn't up to speed, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you improve that immune system? And there are actually 3 steps you can take. Now, it's not going to be about the big 3, right? It's not about eat healthy, move more, sleep more. I mean, that's so common knowledge. We all know that. But it's about how do you create 3 things in your life that will be ready to implement right on today. I mean, if you close off this video and you start doing it, that's when it starts, right? That's where you can start doing that. Now, they are categorized in these three areas, right? So we're going to focus on these three areas: eating, sleeping, and exercising. So the first thing, let's focus on eating. I mean, that's my favorite subject. Well, sleep is interesting as well, but you know, I love to eat. So eating has so much to tell, right? And we've learned so many things the wrong way. Fat is not making you fat, for example, right? Not in essence. It can make you fat if you have too much of anything, right? That's true, but it's not that fat will make you fat per se. I've had a fat-rich diet and I lost 30 pounds, just to tell you what's happening there. The things that make you fat is an overload of carbohydrates, sugar. If you're not balancing it out with the exercising and the amount of energy your body actually uses in a day, and you eat too much sugary food, it gets stored as fat. So we need to do something there that you can easily transform into a more healthy way. The easiest way to do that, and that is something you can start doing right away. The next time you eat something, I want you to be aware of where is it coming from. Is it coming from a box? Is it coming from a processed situation, right? Is it a ready to go spaghetti sauce? Things like that. Is it ready to go? Then you should not eat it. If you just leave alone the processed food as much as you can, you're gonna lower all the bad food intake in your system. So what do you eat then? Well, you need to focus more on the non-processed foods, so the natural foods. For example, vegetables. That's the easiest one, right? You need to buy fresh vegetables. That's just common sense, right? We all know that. But it gets more interesting if you talk about meat or fish, things like that. Now, a lot of meat and fish is also processed food. If you take these takeout burgers or like hamburgers, or you just put them in the oven, for example, right? You can do that. I don't know how it's with your situation, but here in the Netherlands, you actually can do that. You don't even have to deep fry them. You have to bake them. You just put them in the oven. But it's processed meat, right? There are all additives in the meat that isn't particularly good for you, because it needs to be, stored long. It has to be taste very well, and they want you to buy more of it. So they create all this processed food, so you buy more of it. Cookies, potato chips, it's all processed food. Now, can't you eat any chips anymore, right? No, of course not. But just be aware of it. Be aware of what you're eating. And for me, a rule of thumb is if there's mainly sugar in it, I'm not going to eat it because it's bad for me, right? If there's mainly sugar in it, I'm not going to eat it. And that's one of the biggest things you can change. So that's the food. Now, all the other things, I mean, the more natural it is, if it hasn't got a label to tell you what's in it, it's pretty good, right? You can take that. If it has a label, be aware what's on it, right? And if you see that, 70% of that food is carbohydrates and 68% of the carbohydrates is sugar, like cereals, like granola bars, like, soft drinks, things like that, that's the ones you gotta ditch. Don't drink any more Coca-Cola. Don't drink any more Fanta. Don't drink any more, all of these nice tasting sweet drinks. Skip them. Drink water, right? People ask me when I have this. This is my main bottle I have next to me all day long, and everywhere I go and where I see people, they ask me, "Well, you're drinking vodka?" No, this is agua minerale. So it's fresh water. That's what you need. So that's what I drink. So that's the food part. If you do that, you'll improve immediately. The second thing is sleep, right? We need our sleep. Sleep is so fundamental to our health. If you only sleep 4 or 5 hours a day, that's not enough. And that's probably one of my biggest struggles myself. because I love sleeping. Don't get me wrong, but I also love being awake and doing stuff. So I kind of have this tendency to do too much in a day, and then I have problems sleeping. So it actually happens sometimes that I try to sleep and I just can't sleep because I'm too busy in my head, because I just came from the computer or was playing games or watching movies or whatever I've been doing, and I've been so active in my brain that my brain is hard to lower the frequency and get into deep sleep. So getting a good night rest is very important. Now, what is the best way to create the best sleep you can? Build a schedule and build a pattern. How do you call that? Make it a structure. So don't go to bed one day at 10 a.m. or, well, that would be fun. Going to bed at 10 a.m. No, 10 p.m. and the next day at 12, and the next day at 11, and then at 1 or 2, and then 10 again, because your body is not adapting to that cycle, right? We need a cycle. Now, if you get up every morning at 7, and then that's a good start, right? Focus on the moment you wake up in a day. And you can actually like reverse engineer it to that, right? That's what I'm doing at this moment. So I get up every morning about 7 o'clock, right? That's when I wake up. That's when I get up. That's not only when I wake up, but I get up at 7. That's my goal. Now, no matter at what time I went to bed before that night before, I wake up at 7. So if I have 5 hours of sleep, then I feel that in the morning. So I know that next day, right, that evening, I need to be focused on getting to bed earlier. And that is something that I can put in my mind, that I can be aware of. So awareness of these things is probably the most best thing you can do, right? So build a schedule, get up at 7, which means if you have to have 6 or 7 hours sleep, you need to be in bed by 12, or even longer if you want to have longer hours, right? Before, if you have longer hours. So that's how you can build it. And set an alarm in your phone. I mean, that's why we have these things, right? You can just use them for that. Set an alarm or a reminder in your calendar or whatever to give you a notice, like in half an hour, prepare for going to bed. So you could really like meditate or wind down, talk to your spouse, read a book, whatever it is, just to get your mind a little bit of ease and peace. Dim your lights a little bit, right? If you can, and prepare your body to go to bed. That's what I've been doing, and that is pretty much how the gurus told me that I should do to improve my sleep. And when you sleep, you have this cycle through your sleep, right? From light sleep to deep sleep to REM sleep, things like that. It's all phases, and you go through a phase in about 1.5 hours. So if you wake up in deep sleep, you are, hard to wake up, because you get more tired if you wake up in deep sleep. So reverse engineer it to yourself. So that's why I focus on 6 hours of sleep, because then in my case, I have 3 of these cycles, right? Or 4. What is it? Yeah, 4 of these cycles. So then I wake up in my light sleep, right? And not in my deep sleep. So I get, I wake up more energized. So that's an interesting thing. So sleep, you can implement that right away. Put a thing in a reminder in your phone, and let you know when to go to bed, and wake up every morning and go to bed every day at the same time. Build that routine there. Now for you badasses out there, you could also like create another routine which makes you rise at 5 a.m. It's the so-called 5 a.m. club. I've did that for several months, and it's really interesting because it's like shifting your day. In the morning, you're more energized, you're more focused, you're more sharp in your cognitive functions, right? So you can do the hard stuff in the morning. And that is also that you're earlier than the rest of the world, right? So you can do shit while the rest of the world is still sleeping. And then when the world wakes up, you already got half a day done, and you can just go on your way. So that will relieve stress as well. Now, of course, you have to go to bed earlier because, you need your 6 to 7 hours sleep, or 8 or 9, whatever you're choosing. And that's the hardest part, right? But if you want to do that, just hook me up, because I got this great course. It's free. It's a free course, how to wake up at 5 a.m. And it takes you through this practice. I guide you through it in the period that I've been doing this myself, and it takes you to a 66-day challenge of getting up at 5 a.m. So that's an interesting one if you're interested. So that was the third one, sleep. So we had food, no processed food anymore, as much as you can fresh food, and B is the food is the sleep. Get a schedule and make it a fixed routine. The third one is exercising, and we need exercise. We need to exercise for two reasons. We need to create our condition, our stamina. How long can you run, right? How long can you move without getting all sweaty and out of breath? That says something about your condition of your heart mainly, right? And the power of your muscles, the strength of your muscles. The second thing you want to do, because you want to exercise, is to build the muscle and really build up your muscle. I mean, the older you get, every day your cells are being regenerated, right? Old cells die off and new cells are being created, and that regeneration process that slows down when you're getting older. So that's why you see a lot of old people having skinny arms and skinny things, and they just, and if they're not skinny, it's fat, right? There's not so much muscle mass anymore. So keep exercising for creating your stamina, your condition, and to build some muscle, right? That will help you as well. And it's not so much for weight loss. I mean, you can use movement and exercising for weight loss as a supporting role of your weight loss, but the most part of weight loss is being done by the right food. So that's just an interesting perspective there. So exercising is important to keep your body alive, to keep that running. But another thing is why it's important is that we have two major networks in our system, right? Well, we have more, but there are two biggest that we all know. The first one is the vascular system, right? Our blood system, and it's throughout our whole body with all the vasculars, of course. And there's this big pump here, right up there. That's what it's pumping around. So it's doing it and it's creating it and it's taking care of it. You don't have to worry about it. It's just happening, right? But our other system is a system called the lymphatic system. And our lymphatic system takes care of our waste for a big part. So it's there to take care of all the dead cells, right? And all the stuff that your body doesn't need, to put it out there. And it is actually bigger than your vascular system. So it's a very fine network of this little vessels, I think. Also, I'm not sure how it works in practice, but I know that this system is very important for decluttering our life and our body. But there's a problem. It doesn't have a pump like your vascular system does. So it's being transformed, it's being set in motion, by the downward force of the earth, right? That's how it's being pumped and being transferred. So if you're sitting all day, like in my example, I sit a lot in the day for working on my computer. So it's doing not so much, right? The only movements I have is with my fingers and my arms and my head a little bit, but the rest is just sitting there. So I need to keep moving in a day. Every day I take a walk. Every day not every day, but a couple of days in a week I do my exercise and I play tennis. And it's all being done to create this movement inside of your body, also to take care of all the waste out there. So those are the three things that I wanted to share with you. And you can implement those right away. First one, the food. Ditch the processed food, right? That's the biggest win you can have. The second one is you have a better sleep by creating a schedule that works for you, and make sure you get up every morning at the same time and you get to bed every day at the same time, so you get your rest. And remember the 1.5 hour per wave you need to create, right? So it's in segments of 1.5 hours. So it's either 3 hours, which is not enough, right? You don't want to have 2. You don't want to have 3, 4.5 hours. You at least want to have 6 hours. So it's going to have 4 of these waves where it can create. And preferably 7.5 or 9. right? Those are the major numbers you can focus on. Now it's different for everyone, but you know, for most people it's about 1.5 hours. So play with that, right? Implement that right away. Third one, movement. Move every day. And you don't have to exercise every day per se. You can, but you don't have to. But go for a good walk, right? Not just slumbering around. No, really like a hike. Like I'm going for a walk, right? And walk not just one little block around your block for like 10 minutes, but go for half an hour or an hour, right? Just have that movement in your body. And have also micro movement periods, right? I actually have it in my phone every day at 3 in the afternoon. I get a signal on my phone, move. So I know that. So I get up, I walk to the kitchen, I get myself some bottle of water again, or I do some stretching, right? Just for 5 or 10 minutes, just some movement. That keeps your body moving. So those are the 3 easy steps you can take right away to improve your immune system and to create an antivirus, an anti-system, just like against everything that's bad for your body, right? We have to improve it. So if Corona enters your system, right? If you get some virus in your system, that you're not getting as much as sick as you would have been if you weren't as healthy as you were. Now, if you want to know more about how to create the optimum health, the best way that I've found is to have a coach that helps you with that. And that's what I'm here for as well. So I can also teach you and help you create that health and improve your health that way. I've been doing that with other guys and gals, right? Girls, women. And it's incredible how fast you can make some big changes in your life that will actually improve your weight, your health, and your overall feeling of how you feel. And you know, the biggest discovery I had when I created a better health for myself the last 6, 7, 8, 9 months is that I feel so much more energized. I have a decluttered mind. I can think more clearly. I have better memory. And even my eyesight got better, right? Go figure. I mean, those are the things that will actually can have effect on you if you improve your health. So that said, you know, if you want to know more about that, go to masteryourpersonality.com or just shoot me a message here on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and we'll get in touch. So thank you so much for watching. Every day, tomorrow again. So if you're watching this, give me a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye. And stay healthy, for sure. Work on that. It's important. Yeah.